oceans, it's, I mean, I know every country has certain amount of miles that they control within the oceans, but there's also, I mean, it's a big ocean. This is a blue planet, so it's a big ocean out there, and there's actually no international treaties, and nobody is policing the oceans. How do you deal with all of this lawless space where you actually fight your fight?
We're really dealing with the last frontier, the Wild West, which is now the world's oceans. The majority of the world's surface, there's laws, but those laws aren't being enforced. So, you know, we get shot. We just lost a boat, and nobody questioned the captain of the vessel that destroyed it. So, it pretty much out there, might makes right, and whoever can, you know, has can best economically twist the arms of other governments, get what they want. I mean, the laws are there; they're just simply not being enforced.
Even in open oceans?
The laws to protect life in open oceans are there. There's signed treaties and agreements between countries. For instance, the United States could end whaling tomorrow by simply invoking the Packwood-Magnuson-Pelley Amendment to the U.S. Department of Commerce regulations. But every year they discriminate on the application of the law so as not to offend Japan. So the president instead sends them a strongly worded letter of condemnation, and every year the Japanese ignore it and do what they're going to do.
That's great. I just heard you on the presentation you just gave, saying that pigs were the biggest eaters of fish.
They become one of the largest aquatic predators, yeah, because we're catching about 40% of the fish that we take out of the ocean is turned into fish meal to feed to domestic animals, other fish, pigs, or chickens.
Wow, that's a big. So so pigs eat more fish than we humans do.
Well, no, humans would actually be the biggest, but
yeah,
the pig would
so
be the second aquatic.
Okay.
More
than seals and more than dolphins.
Certainly more than that. In fact, our domestic house cats are eating more tuna than all the world's seals put together. I think it's 2.5 million pounds of, or 2.5 million tons of fish go into cat food.
Wow, that's crazy.
You know? And also, you know, farm-raised salmon. We're catching 70 fish out of the ocean to raise one fish on a fish farm.
So that's not even a solution?
No, fish farming definitely isn't. Fish farming is extremely destructive to the ocean. We're wiping out the anchovies off of Peru and Chile just to feed fish farms up in British Columbia or in Norway.
Is there any species of fish that is actually sustainable for humans to eat, or is it something that we should avoid completely?
The only sustainable wild fishery that I know of is the Alaska salmon fishery, because they're hatcheries and you know, it's more well regulated. As far as farm-raised fish, tilapia and catfish, which are vegetarian, but they're not fed fish and they're raised on fresh water, are two solutions. But generally, we're pretty much overfished everything.
Do you follow those rules? You eat only this kind of fish? Or?
I don't eat fish. No,
I don't eat fish. That's important.
Yeah.
How do you keep the morale of your volunteers in your boats whenever? I mean, I've seen killings of whales on TV, and it has shocked me profoundly. Mm-hmm. I mean, being there, I can't imagine being there and watch it up close and personal. I couldn't stand it. How do you keep the morale of your volunteers and your crew after watching something like this?
We actually don't see whales being killed. I haven't seen a whale die since I left Greenpeace in 1977.
Oh, that's right.
When we show up, they don't kill whales because they know I'll rip their harpoons off their decks if they try to do it. Wow. Last year in Whale Wars, they showed a whale dying, but that was 12 miles away from us and it was filmed by the helicopter. But nobody's going to kill a whale in front of me because they'll know I'll take out their harpoons. So, so we intimidate them, and so no, I haven't seen a whale die for almost 35 years.
Wow, that's great. That's good news.
Yeah.
How much does this Whale Wars program help you?
Whale Wars has certainly increased our exposure and given us a lot of support. I mean, television has the ability to do that, of course. And once things are on television, it becomes real, and people get involved and impassioned about it. So the television show has been a great boon.
What's the qualifications that somebody needs to work for you? I mean, to volunteer for you in your crew.
The main qualification is passion for the cause. You know, passion to want to actually do something. And then we also look for, you know, different skills: navigation, electronics, welding, engineering, that sort of thing. But even that isn't that important. We always have crew who are inexperienced and we train them. But our officers, of course, are experienced.
And how do you deal with this unexperienced crew in the middle of these high open waters and fighting with these Japanese fleets and all of that? How do you deal? I mean, how can you be safe having these untrained people on board?
Ships are run with a chain of command. and the officers know what they're doing, and the crew take instructions from the officers, and we have a training sessions too. So actually it runs quite smoothly. I found that we have less problems with an inexperienced crew than we do with professional crews, because professionals tend to take things for granted. And you know, I worked in the Canadian Coast Guard and on Norwegian and Swedish merchant marines. We had casualties, we had people injured, but I've never had anybody injured on our ships.
Never? In the history of organization?
In 33 years, never. No.
That's amazing. I heard someone, somewhere I read that you were saying that that human species can be compared to a virus and a parasite. Can you? Yeah,
the behavior of humanity on the planet when it comes to our position within the ecological system is more like that of a virus. We're eroding the immune system of the planet, making it very difficult for the planet to heal itself. And that is the behavior of a virus. So, you know, I make these statements to provoke people, to make people think. So when I say that humans have become the AIDS of the earth, it's to make people think about, yeah, this is what we're doing. And when you really look at it objectively, yes, this is what we're doing. So we're a very destructive species, and what I'd like us to see is to confront our destructiveness and try to learn to live in harmony with other species and in harmony with the basic laws of ecology.
Do you think we're going to be able to achieve that?
I don't know whether we're going to be able. I think we have to be able to achieve it if we want to survive. So really that's a big question for humanity. Do we want to survive?
What about a population? How big do you think the population should be in order for us to? I mean, because I personally think we're a little bit too many. What do you have to say about that?
Well, the year I was born, 1950, there are 3 billion people on the planet. Now it's approaching 7, so it's more than doubled in one generation. It's a major problem, and it's also a problem in terms of consumption. And how do we come to terms with that? That's really one of those impossible problems that needs a question, an answer, which right now is impossible. You know, people say to me, well, I'm not going to have any children because I don't want to contribute to the population problem. Ironically, those are the very people who probably should have children because they're aware of the problem. The problem is that 95% of everybody has children. Well, why do you do it? Well, it's sort of what you do, isn't it? I think it's the most awesome responsibility that you can have is giving birth to a child and raising that child. And unless you're prepared to guarantee that child love, nurturing education, then it's an irresponsible thing to bring the child onto the planet. But we need more of those kind of children, though, educated, loved, nurtured children. And so I actually encourage people, if they can do that, yes, by all means have kids, but if you can't guarantee it, then no.
What would be your advice for people who care and who really want to help? What would be your your advice?
I think that the best thing is to not put faith in governments or large corporations or large organizations. Get involved on a community level. Be very cognizant of what you eat and what you consume, and your impact upon the planet, and support small organizations, community organizations. But the most important thing is to get involved. Use your skills, your abilities, your talents, your imagination to make it a better planet.
Are we going to make it?
Well, I'm always optimistic that we're going to be able to turn this around. I think that you have to be optimistic, otherwise you throw up your hands in despair and, I don't know, go lie on a beach somewhere. But I think that, no, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if I don't think. But I want to encourage people to understand that everybody can make a difference. That's the only thing that ever has made a difference.
Great, amazing. Thank you so much, Capitão Watson.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks.